Hello there everyone and welcome to a new review on the channel. And today we are going to be looking at a brand new release, and that is the Black Mirror project by David Jonathan. A very interesting and a very cool bundle of magic tricks that you can do with your phone. And I have to preface this even before we roll the intro that this is iOS only. So that is important to know even before moving on. But having said that, let's roll the intro and learn more about Black Mirror project. Perfect, so you decide to stick around, which means you want to learn more about the Black Mirror project. So what is the Black Mirror project? The Black Mirror project is essentially an amalgamation of routines that you can do using your iPhone. So in simplest sense, it's essentially a set of, I don't think this is spoiling the method or anything, a set of shortcuts that will allow you to achieve a bunch of different type of mentalism effects with your phone and your spectator's phone. Now, I can't do a performance for you of the effect because of course I'm filming with my actual phone, but I will do you one better. I will tell you exactly everything that you get and how everything would play out in terms of routines. So, what you're gonna get here is 6 basic routines. So the first routine that you are going to get with this is a book test. So essentially you're gonna open your actual native book app on your iPhone. So this is your actual Apple Books. You're gonna open any book. There's a bunch of free books available. They're legitimate actual books. The spectator is gonna hold the phone like this. He's gonna scroll to a random page. He's gonna look at the first word on that page. He's gonna pass the phone face down to someone else. That person is also going to scroll randomly back and forth without looking at the screen. They're then gonna look at a word, and you will be able with 100% accuracy to determine the exact word of each spectator. The second routine that you are getting here is a photo prediction. So essentially the photo prediction that you're getting here is you will be able to predict any picture that someone is going to name or any object or anything like that. Now there is something to specify regarding this a bit later because there is some strings to this that you must know, but we're going to get to that into the what do you get section of the review. Then you're also going to get my favorite routine and a lot of favorite routines. People's favorite routine is the lottery prediction. You essentially place your phone down, you say that you have a picture of a ticket that you played a few days ago, you place it down on the table. You then proceed to take a piece of paper, a billet, a card, and you ask the spectator to name any 6 numbers in the lottery from 1 to 60 in a lottery, like a normal lottery ticket. They then proceed to do that, and then you open your phone, you show them in your camera roll, there's only one single picture, and the numbers on the lotto ticket that you played will match 100% the numbers that they have just named or written down. You then also get a birthday prediction where you have a list you introduce. It can either be printed out or on your phone. You introduce a list of different gifts that people get for their birthday, the most popular gifts. Someone then chooses a gift for their birthday. When you open your camera roll, you have a section called gifts. You have one single gift in that camera roll and is going to be matching 100% the gift that the person has taken. Has chosen, but also the kicker is when they click on the image and they look at the date, it's going to be the exact same date as their birthday. Another one is the vacation effect. It's essentially the same thing as the birthday effect except with a vacation. So someone is going to choose a destination among a set of 20 most popular destinations. Then you make a joke, you show a generic image of a beach, you tell them, oh, you know, this is the exact place that you mentioned. You kind of play it off as a gag. When they click on the photo and they look at where the picture was taken, it is taken at the exact location that they chose. But as an additional kicker as well, if they look at the date, it was at the exact date that they would have said they would have made a travel last year. You then also get a Google Maps effect where you're going to show to someone that you're going to put something on Google Maps. Then they're going to choose any city in the world, and then when they click on your Google Maps, the city that they chose and the one that you inputted in Google Maps will match 100%. And the last effect that you get is the word peak. So essentially the word peak is you are going to be able to have someone write down anything in your notes, a movie, a celebrity, a word, a name of a book, name of someone they love, a mathematic equation, whatever they want to write. They will write it in your notes. They are going to delete it from your notes, close the phone, place the phone on the table, and you will be able to know at any point exactly what they wrote down in those notes with 100% accuracy. So that is essentially what you are getting in terms of routines for the Black Mirror project. Now let's talk about where you actually purchase this and how much does it cost. So you can buy this pretty much anywhere. It is available as a digital download or an actual physical product. It's available through all the Murphy's Magic dealers, hence probably your local magic shop. You are going to pay $39.99 for this, so whether you buy the digital or the physical version, it will be 39 USD, which is around 50-ish Canadian. And what you get with your purchase is all of those effects. You also get, depending on the version, you either get a physical or digital. But for me, I got the digital. You get a PDF that goes over some of the main routines and how to handle them, essentially a refresher. Also, it's going to contain a link that will set you to the actual shortcuts so that you can install them. And it will also have the instructions that are video instructions with David Jonathan, who goes over every single routine that you need to know. There's live performances with Javier for every single effect. Everything is super well explained, super detailed, as you would expect with the David Jonathan release. That is everything. You get essentially everything that you need, except for one thing. If you do want to perform these hands off, so without ever having to touch your phone, you will need a Bluetooth remote, which is not included. So you're going to have to purchase that on your own from Amazon. Or additionally, if you want to do the photo prediction effect, you are going to have to either sign up on a free website that's going to generate images for you. He gives you a free option, but he does say that the best, most quality, most kind of effective way to do that prediction, you will have to pay 2 cents per prediction and essentially sign up on a website, and every time you perform the effect, it's going to cost you 2 cents, which is not much, but that is something to keep in mind. But it is only for the photo prediction effect. So all of the other effects I've mentioned, they do not need anything else. They do not need any additional purchases or subscriptions. But the photo effect, you do have an option that is free, but there's also an option that is a bit better with a certain program that you're going to need to install. And as I mentioned, you can use a Bluetooth remote, but personally, I don't use one, and the effects work as well normally without even the need of a remote. So that is what you get. So now let's talk about difficulty. So how difficult are these effects to perform? Overall, the effects here are pretty easy. Some of them, if you use the remote, they're incredibly easy. You essentially do nothing. If you do use a remote, this is essentially self-working. You just need to learn the scripting. If you do not use a remote, you just have to essentially just tell the spectator to put the phone down, and then you have an excuse to just pick it up and show it to them, right? Some of them, you don't even need to do that. Some of them, David Jonathan was nice enough to include automated responses. So essentially the shortcuts run automated based on the inputs that the spectator do, which are natural, such as closing the apps or closing the phone. So there's also some automations there for you. So overall, everything is catered to be extremely easy to use and extremely easy to do. So overall, this is very easy. You just need to put presentations, and depending if you do remote or non-remote, where, how you justify you maybe touching the phone, or how you justify maybe the spectator hiding the screen. Because even if you do use a remote, the spectator cannot keep the phone like this and then you're doing something with the remote. They have to keep it to their chest, on the table, etc. So you're going to have to find presentational hooks for that, but overall it is relatively easy. In terms now of practicality, this is essentially A1 in practicality because you need nothing to perform this. You just need your phone. So as long as you have your phone, you're able to do this. I do think that some of these routines do need actual internet for them. Some of them do not, but some of them I do believe that they do. For example, the Google Peak one, I believe, does use internet because not the Google Peak, the Google Maps one, because you do need to go on actual Google Maps. So if you can't access Google Maps, you can't really input what you need to do. And probably the AI kind of photo prediction thing that I've mentioned, the photo prediction will need to use internet. But then some other routines like the lotto, the word peak, the book test, the birthday, the vacation, all of those do not need internet. I've not tried it, but maybe even the ones that I mentioned do not need internet, but just to be safe, for those whose effects you may need it. But except for that, as long as you have your phone, you are good to go. You do not need any extra props. In terms of inspectability, your phone can be technically inspected. at a quick glance. In terms of repeatability, I wouldn't necessarily repeat the effects logically, but you can do mix and match the effects. You can build a mini set with Black Mirror Project and do those effects. So instead of repeating the same effects, say, you know what, let me show you something else that's interesting. And you proceed into that. In terms of reset, it is instant reset for the routines. And the last thing that I want to mention is the angles. The angles for this routine, for the routines in general, are pretty good. Some of them are almost 360 or fully 360. Some of them are more of a 180. For example, the lottery prediction is more of a 180, so you don't want anyone behind you. But overall, most of the routines can be done with 180 to 360 angles. And of course, you do not need a table for any of these routines. All of them can be done standing up. Now let's talk about where do you perform. So where do you perform these routines? These routines are routines that you can perform anywhere close up. So you can do this close up, parlor, you can do this on stage if you want. So if you perform phone magic on stage, for example, David Penn has like a phone magic show where it's like an all digital show. If you do that, you can do these routines there. If you don't do them there, then you can do them anywhere that is close up. I wouldn't do these necessarily through Zoom. Some of them can be technically done through Zoom. For example, the vacation prediction or the birthday prediction can be done super easily through Zoom. Even the lotto prediction could be done through Zoom relatively easily if you want. So some of them can be done, but I don't think it's the best way to do it. I think using phone magic through Zoom kind of defeats a bit of the purpose, because people will think that, you know, it's technology and you can be inputting things on your phone or editing things as they go by. But so mostly I would perform this in casual walk around scenarios. You could do this restaurants, table hopping, weddings, etc. That will work all for you. So having said all this, what are the positives and negatives of the Black Mirror project? So let's start out with the negative. So one of the negatives is, because the way this is intended, all Android users will not be able to use this. So you will need an iPhone only in order to perform these effects. That is just how it is, but it is a bit unfortunate, because I do think this is incredible and I do think a lot of people would have wanted to use something like this, but it is what it is. The second negative is something that has already happened with kind of how this works, and it showcases that sometimes there are errors that happen with technology. So essentially the book test now, because of the latest iOS update where there was a hiccup in the coding, the book test doesn't work. So David Jonathan was very apt in that. So he provides to you a solution, and he provides to you a way to circumvent that and to bypass that. But this shows that maybe in the future there's going to be certain errors that are going to occur during, you know, during the procedure of Apple updates or software updates, etc., that may mess with the way that this works, that may mess with the integral parts of how this works. And that is unknown, that we cannot know. Neither can David Jonathan, neither can us as users. It may just happen, and some of the things or some of the effects may not work as intended, or will need workarounds. Yes, there is, I believe, a Facebook group, so you can join there, and that will help you maybe when there are bugs, etc., to flag them, or other people will flag them, so you will know not to use that specific effect at a specific time. But since this is technology, and technology is always evolving, and there's also human error when coding technology, like it was with the book test, it's not because Apple has moved beyond how the Apple Books application works. It's just a human error of coding. They coded, instead of +1, they've coded -1 in how the pages work, which essentially deroutes the whole premise of how the shortcut is supposed to work. So do keep in mind that that is a possibility going forward, that some hiccups like these will happen. It is essentially technology, so it is something to keep in mind. But David Jonathan did provide an answer and a fix for it in a very timely manner, so to note. In terms of positives, one, you get a ton of effects. You get essentially a masterclass on the use of shortcuts on your iPhone and what they can achieve. The effects are different, the effects are interesting. They can use different presentational hooks, different presentations. This is something that once you have on you, you're gonna have at any time. So if you wanna do a word reveal at any time, now you're gonna have, you don't need a billet, a pen, anything, just your native Notes app on your iPhone. You'll be able to do an incredible mind divination of anything that you want without any forcing and without having anyone to go on Google or Safari, etc. It allows you to have in your pocket essentially a weaponized system of mental miracles that you can do at any time. So having said all of this, what do I think of the Black Mirror Project? Do I recommend it, and what do I rate it out of 10? Do I recommend the Black Mirror Project? And my answer is yes. If you like phone magic and you like having certain things on your phone to be able to use at a moment's notice in order to do kind of impromptu effects, I believe this is one of the best ways to do it and one of the most clever and intelligent and fun ways to perform these effects. It doesn't use any native apps, or it doesn't use any Apple Store apps or web apps. It uses the actual features of your iPhone, which is great because it is very much harder to backtrack that than the use of an app or a web app, etc. So that is absolutely great. I do recommend it if you like phone magic. If you don't like phone magic, then of course, this isn't going to probably change your mind. So that is all I have to say. In terms of a rating from 1 to 10, I'm giving the Black Mirror Project an 8.75 out of 10. I really like this, and I think it is going to be very interesting for quite a few of you. So that's all I have to say. Thank you everyone for watching, and I can't wait to see you in my next review. Have a great one, and bye-bye.